stars, firelight, and the sleeping lake. Before the documentary begins, take a little time to settle in and let the room become simple around you. Find the position that feels easiest, with the body supported and the head resting and the hands placed wherever they naturally fall. Let the blanket be enough. Let the pillow be enough. Let the quiet around you be enough. There is nothing to prepare now, and nothing to hold on to. The day can loosen at the edges, one small piece at a time. The sounds may come and go, near or far, inside the room or outside the window, and none of them need your attention. This is only a quiet story for resting, a soft place for the mind to wander, without needing to follow every word. The lake will be there, the fire will be there, the stars will be there, and everything will move slowly, without asking anything from you. Let the breath find its own rhythm, easy and unforced, with the body becoming heavier and the thoughts becoming lighter. Nothing needs to happen quickly. Nothing needs to be understood. Nothing needs to be remembered. The night is already waiting, wide and calm, with dark trees, soft water, and a small fire beside the sleeping lake. You can let the words pass by, like ripples on the water, like sparks fading above the stones, like starlight resting far overhead. And now, with the room quiet enough and the body resting enough, we can move gently toward the shore, where the fire is low, the stars are steady, and the sleeping lake is waiting. The lake is already dark, and the camp is already quiet. A small fire rests near the shore, held inside a circle of stones, with low orange light and soft places between the wood. The trees stand behind the camp, not close, not far, only present, with their dark branches gathered together, and their needles holding the last warmth of the day. The tent is still, with its simple shape and its quiet fabric, and the folded blanket inside, waiting without needing anything. The lake does not hurry. It holds the dark sky and the pale pieces of starlight and the dim glow from the fire, as if all of it has been placed there gently and left alone. There is a small path near the shore, pressed into the grass, soft at the edges, turning only a little, then fading where the stones begin. The air is cool now, and the fire is warm now, and both are allowed to be exactly as they are. Nothing needs to begin. Nothing needs to finish. The night has already made enough room. A few quiet sounds remain. Water touching the shore, wood settling in the fire, leaves moving once then not moving. The camp does not ask for attention. The lake does not ask to be understood. The stars remain above, small and steady, spread across the dark. This is only a place to rest near, a place with firelight and water and night trees, and the slow shape of a tent beside the sleeping lake. Opening camp at the sleeping lake. The camp rests beside the water, as if it has always been there, with the tent facing the lake, and the fire set low, and the dark line of trees behind everything. The ground is uneven in a gentle way, with soft grass, flat stones, and a few pine needles scattered near the entrance of the tent. The fire gives a small light, not bright enough to reach far, only enough to touch the stones, the side of a kettle, and the lower edge of the blanket near the chair. Beyond the fire, the lake waits in the dark. Its surface is not empty, only quiet, holding faint reflections and small movements that come and go without meaning. The shore is close. It can be heard more than seen. A low sound, water arriving, water leaving, water returning again. There is a camping chair near the fire, angled slightly toward the lake, with no one needing to sit in it, and nothing waiting to be done. A folded jacket rests over one arm of the chair, with its sleeves hanging softly, and its fabric taking the firelight in dull patches. The tent opening is partly closed. Inside, there is only darkness and the round shape of a rolled sleeping bag, and the quiet promise of warmth. The trees behind the camp make a wall of shadow. They do not move much. When they do, it is only a small shift, one branch answering another, then settling again. The night is wide, but the camp is simple. Fire, tent, lake, trees, stones. Each thing stays near its own place. Each thing has already arrived. The fire lowers slightly, then lifts again, a small orange fold of flame leaning into the wood, then resting back down. A few sparks appear, then disappear. They do not travel far. They rise only a little, then become part of the dark. The lake keeps its slow sound. It does not become louder. It does not become less. It stays close enough to hear and far enough to soften. There is nothing to follow here. No path needs to be taken. No thought needs to be finished. The camp has entered the night, and the night has entered the camp softly, without announcement. The chair remains empty. The jacket remains folded. The tent remains still. Above the lake, A few stars show through the open spaces between trees. They are not arranged for anyone. They are simply there, small, cool, and steady. The firelight moves across the stones again, then withdraws. The shadows return, then loosen. The same quiet shapes repeat. The air near the water feels cooler, and the air near the fire feels warmer, and there is no need to choose between them. The lake breathes in its own way. The trees listen in their own way. The camp rests in the middle, with nothing urgent and nothing missing. A small log shifts in the fire, a soft sound, then stillness. The flame changes shape, then becomes familiar again. The tent waits. The lake waits. The night waits. And the camp remains here, beside the sleeping lake, with firelight on the stones, and stars above the water, and all things becoming quiet enough. The fire sits inside the stones, low and contained, with pieces of wood leaning inward, and the red center glowing underneath. The stones around it are round in places, flat in places, dark on the outside, warm along the edges where the light touches them. Nothing about the fire is hurried. It rises a little, falls a little, then gathers itself again, as if remembering the shape of flame. The wood is dark at the ends, silver in the ash, orange in the cracks, and quiet where it has already burned down. A small piece shifts inward. The sound is soft, not sharp, only a settled sound, a campfire sound, a sound that belongs near sleep. The lake is behind the fire, but the fire does not need to reach it. The lake remains cool and dark, with a narrow strip of light trembling near the shore. The stones hold their circle. They have no task now, except to stay where they are, around the small warmth, under the quiet sky. The air moves through the flames. The flames lean, then stand again, then fold into themselves. No one has to add more wood. No one has to stir the coals. The fire is allowed to become smaller, at its own pace, in its own slow way. A kettle rests nearby, not boiling, not steaming, only holding a little dull shine on its curved side. Beside it, a piece of bark lies on the ground, pale on one edge, dark on the other, half in shadow, half in the breathing light. The fire makes the stones appear, then lets them disappear again. One stone glows briefly, another falls back into darkness. This is enough movement for the night. A small flame, a low ember, a shadow crossing the ground, The lake continues behind it all. Water touches stone. Water leaves stone. The same small sound returns. The trees beyond the shore are almost invisible now. They hold the darkness in their branches, and the darkness rests there quietly. The fire does not explain itself. It simply stays low and warm and near. A thin thread of smoke rises, then bends away. It becomes part of the air, part of the trees, part of the night that is already open. The stones remain patient. They do not change quickly. Their warmth moves inward, slowly, without any sign. The firelight touches the ground, the kettle, the edge of a boot print, the curved side of a fallen pine cone. Each object appears only partly. Nothing is fully shown. Nothing needs to be fully known. The circle of stones becomes familiar. It is a small boundary, softly marked, not closed, not guarded, only present. The fire lowers again. The coals brighten underneath, then dim. The wood gives one more quiet sound, and then rests. There is no need to keep track, no need to count the sounds, no need to hold the scene in place. The night is doing that already. The stones are doing that already. The lake is doing that already. The fire remains near the shore, small and warm, with its quiet circle, and its slow red center, and its gentle light moving over everything, then moving away. The tent stands beneath the pines, with its soft sides drawn inward, and its roof holding a little darkness, and a little firelight along the seam. It is not a large tent. It is only enough shelter, only enough space, only enough quiet beside the trees and the lake. The fabric barely moves. Once in a while, a small breath of air touches it, and the surface shifts, then settles again. The entrance is half closed. Inside, there is a folded blanket, a rolled sleeping bag, and the soft outline of a pillow near the back. Nothing inside is arranged perfectly. Nothing needs to be. The blanket is where it is. The sleeping bag is where it is. The shadows rest over both. A lantern sits outside the tent, turned low with a warm center and a dull ring of light on the ground. The pine needles around it are still. Some are brown, some are green, some are almost black in the night. The fire is farther away now, near the shore, making a softer orange color on the lower tent wall. The lake can still be heard. It is behind the sound of the fire, behind the small movements of leaves, behind the quiet of the tent. The pines stand close, but not too close. Their trunks rise straight, then disappear into branches, then into night. The tent belongs here for now. Not forever, not with any effort. Only for this night, in this place, with this lake nearby. A small cord runs from the tent to a stake in the ground. It is slightly loose. It holds what it needs to hold, without strain. The zipper line catches one thin thread of firelight. Then the light shifts, and the zipper is dark again. There is no need to go inside yet. There is no need to stay outside. The tent waits either way. A blanket edge near the entrance is folded once, then folded again, soft and ordinary, with no meaning beyond rest. The air around the tent is cooler than the air by the fire. It gathers under the trees, near the roots, near the shaded ground. The smell of pine is faint. The smell of smoke is faint. Both drift through the camp without taking over the night. The tent remains still. The lantern remains low. The trees remain high above it. No path moves away from the tent. No story moves toward it. Only the night, wide and dark, and the small shelter, quiet beneath the pines. A soft sound comes from the lake. Another comes from the fire. Another comes from the trees. Then all of them become one sound, distant and near at the same time. The tent does not need watching. It is only there, with fabric and rope and shadow and the promise of sleep. The firelight grows smaller on the tent wall. The lantern light grows softer on the ground. The pine trunks hold their places. Nothing is expected here. Nothing is late. Nothing is unfinished. The tent stands beneath the pines, near the sleeping lake, with everything inside arranged loosely, and everything outside becoming slower and darker and quieter. The lake lies beyond the fire, wide and dark, with a surface that moves only a little, and then seems still again. The shore is made of small stones. Some are wet, some are dry. Some hold the faint orange color of the fire for a moment, then lose it. The water comes close, then slips back. It does not arrive with force. It only touches and leaves and touches again. A narrow reflection stretches across the lake, broken by tiny ripples, then gathered back into darkness. The stars above are faint in the water. They do not stay in one shape. They tremble softly, then disappear, then return in another place. The lake is not silent. It has its own low sound, a steady sound, a sleeping sound, not quite a rhythm, not quite a song. The far shore is barely visible. It is only a darker line beneath the darker trees, under the wider dark of the sky. Nothing crosses the water. No boat moves. No light travels from the other side. The lake holds the night without effort. It holds the firelight, the stars, the trees, and the quiet space between them. A small branch rests near the shore, caught between two stones, moving slightly when the water reaches it, then settling again. The branch does not go anywhere. The stones do not go anywhere. The shore remains where it is. The fire is behind now, soft and low, making the water look warmer near the edge, though the lake itself stays cool and dark. There is room here for every slow sound. The water, the wood, the leaves, the insects, the spaces between all of them. The lake does not ask to be crossed. It does not ask to be named. It only spreads out under the night and returns the sky in broken pieces. A few clouds move high above, so thin they are almost not there. Their pale edges pass over the stars, then fade into the dark. The reflection changes, but slowly. The shore changes, but barely. The night changes without needing notice. A reed near the water leans to one side. Its shadow is longer than the reed itself. Its tip touches nothing. The lake keeps moving in small ways. A ripple folds into another ripple. A small sound reaches the stones. Then the surface rests again. No thought has to follow the water. No eye has to hold the reflection. The lake can be seen, then not seen, then gently remembered. The far trees are still. The near stones are still. Only the water keeps making its quiet return. The lake is a dark place, but not an empty place. It is full of low reflections, soft sounds, and unhurried movement. The firelight reaches the water, then breaks apart. The stars reach the water, then soften. The night reaches the water and stays. Nothing more is needed from the shore. Nothing more is needed from the lake. It is enough to let the water be near, to let the darkness rest over it, to let the small waves come and go, beside the sleeping camp, under the quiet sky. The sky opens above the lake, wide and dark, with more stars than the campfire can hold in its light. The trees frame the clearing, black along the edges, still at the tops, leaving a broad space where the night can be seen. The Milky Way rests across the sky, pale and soft, like a faint river of light, spread above the darker water. It does not move in any way that needs watching. It is simply there, distant, quiet, and gentle to look at. The stars gather in uneven places. Some are bright, some are faint, some almost disappear when the eyes move, then return when nothing is forced. The lake below holds pieces of the sky. A few stars appear in the water. A few are broken by ripples. A few become only small silver marks, then vanish. The fire is lower now, so the sky feels larger. The flames are still present, but they no longer fill the clearing. The dark above the lake feels calm, not empty, not endless in a sharp way, only open and deep and quiet. There is nothing to read in the stars, nothing to solve, nothing to follow from one point to another. They can remain scattered. They can remain unnamed. They can remain far away. A faint band of light crosses higher than the trees. It has no edge that needs finding. It fades into darkness on both sides, softly, without a line. The lake reflects only what it can. The fire reflects only near the shore. The sky stays above everything, wide and still. A small night sound comes from the trees, then another from the water. Then the quiet returns around both. The stars do not change the camp. The camp does not disturb the stars. They rest together, one above, one below, with the lake between them. The tent is behind the fire, darker now. The lantern is turned low. The chair is still facing the water. Everything seems placed for looking, but nothing requires attention. The sky can be watched or not watched. It remains either way. The Milky Way is pale and distant and soft enough to forget while seeing it. It stretches above the lake, above the tent, above the fire, above the quiet stones, and all of it stays unhurried. A single star near the tree line appears brighter for a while. Then the eyes soften, and it becomes part of the wider sky again. No counting is needed. No naming is needed. No direction is needed. The night sky is allowed to be vast. The lake is allowed to be still. The camp is allowed to be small. This is a quiet kind of looking, not searching, not wondering too hard, only resting the eyes upward, then letting them drift back down. Firelight on stone, starlight on water, darkness between trees. The same simple things remain. The same slow night continues. The Milky Way stays above the sleeping lake, pale in the open dark, and the camp stays below it, warm at the center, quiet at the edges, with nothing to reach for and nothing to complete. A lantern rests on the small camp table, turned low, with warm light inside the glass, and a dull glow spreading around it. Beside the lantern, an enamel mug sits still, white in some places, dark in others, with a thin rim catching the firelight. The table is simple. A few scratches cross the wood. A folded cloth lies near one corner. A small spoon rests beside the mug, quiet and unused. The lantern does not flicker much. Its light is steady, soft, and close to the table, not trying to reach the trees. The mug is empty now, or nearly empty. But it does not matter. It keeps its place, with the handle turned slightly away. Behind the table, the lake is darker than before. Only a small edge of water can be seen, where the shore bends inward. The fire gives another kind of light, lower and redder, touching the ground, then fading before it reaches the trees. The lantern holds its own small circle. Inside that circle, everything becomes easier to see, and still not important to study. The cloth does not move. The spoon does not move. The mug does not move. A small moth passes near the edge of the light, then disappears into the dark. The lantern remains low. The table remains quiet. The night sounds continue beyond it. A cricket begins, then pauses. Leaves shift once. The water answers the shore. Nothing needs to be picked up. Nothing needs to be poured. Nothing needs to be cleaned away. The objects can rest where they are. The mug can cool. The lantern can glow. The cloth can lie folded on the wood. The table stands on uneven ground. One leg is pressed into the grass. Another rests on a flat stone. It holds itself well enough. The lantern glass shows a small reflection of the fire. The reflection bends along the curve, then becomes only amber blur. The mug holds a smaller reflection, a round place of light, faint and soft, almost gone. All of it is quiet enough to leave alone. The table, the mug, the lantern, the spoon, the cloth, the dark beyond them. The camp does not need arranging. The night does not need improving. The fire lowers. The lantern stays steady. The lake stays dark. A small sound comes from the woods, far enough away to remain gentle. Then the sound is gone, and the quiet returns to the table. The mug remains beside the lantern. It feels familiar, ordinary, and done for the night. No one needs to drink from it. No one needs to move it. No one needs to remember why it was placed there. The lantern keeps its small warmth, and the camp keeps its larger stillness. Objects at rest, light at rest, water at rest, night at rest. The table remains near the fire, beside the sleeping lake, with the mug cooling slowly, and the lantern glowing softly, and all the simple things gathered in one calm place. The fire has lowered into embers, red at the center, dark at the edges, with only small flames appearing now and then. The stones around it are warm, but quiet. They hold the shape of the fire, even as the light becomes softer. A thin layer of ash covers part of the wood. It is pale grey, almost white, with orange showing through the cracks. The flames no longer rise high. They lean close to the coals, then disappear, then return in a smaller shape. The camp feels wider now. With less firelight, the lake becomes darker, and the sky becomes larger, and the trees stand closer to the night. The embers glow without effort. They do not need tending. They do not need more wood. A small sound comes from inside the coals. A settling sound. A soft inward sound. Then stillness. The chair near the fire is almost fully in shadow. Only one arm catches the red light. Then the light fades again. The kettle is dark now. The mug is dark now. The table is only an outline near the lantern. The lantern remains low, but even that light feels quiet, as if it has learned from the embers. The lake continues beside everything. Its sound has not changed much. It stays soft and close and patient. The embers make the ground appear warmer than it is. The air above them moves slightly. A small thread of smoke rises, then thins into the dark. There is nothing to hurry back into flame. The fire can become less. The night can become more. The stones keep their circle. The ash keeps its pale covering. The coals keep their red center. A small piece of wood breaks inward. It leaves a brighter place behind. Then that brightness softens too. The fire is not ending in a sharp way. It is only lowering, only quieting, only becoming part of the night. The camp accepts the smaller light. The trees accept it. The lake accepts it. No one needs to speak here. No one needs to move. The embers make enough sound, and the water makes enough sound, and the quiet holds the rest. A few sparks remain hidden in the ash. They appear when the air touches them, then settle back underneath. The color is deep red now, and dull orange, and soft black along the edges. The fire has become something slower. Not a flame to watch, only a glow to rest near. The tent waits behind the trees. The blanket waits inside. The ground around the camp is calm and dark. There is no task left in the fire. Only warmth. Only memory of flame. Only a gentle center fading by degrees. The lake remains awake in its quiet way. The stars remain above it. The trees remain around it. Nothing needs to be made brighter. Nothing needs to be kept from changing. The embers rest inside the stones, and the camp rests beside the embers, and the night rests over the camp, while the sleeping lake holds the dark. The night has grown deeper, and the camp has grown quieter, and the lake remains beside it all, dark and still under the last stars. The fire is nearly gone now, with only a low red place beneath the ash, and a little warmth held inside the stones. The tent is completely still. Its sides are dark. Its shape is simple against the trees. The lantern has been turned lower until its glow barely reaches the table, and the mug beside it is only a pale outline. The lake makes the same soft sound, but it seems farther away now, as if the shore has settled deeper into sleep. The stars remain above the water. Some are bright, some are faint, some are lost behind thin pieces of cloud. The Milky Way is softer now, still present, but less separate from the dark around it. No dawn has arrived yet. No morning has begun. The night is still holding everything gently. The canoe rests on the shore. The paddle lies beside it. The rope is loose. The stones are quiet. Nothing has moved far. Nothing has changed in a way that needs notice. The camp is only softer now, less flame, less light, less sound near the ground. The trees stand behind the tent, with dark trunks and darker spaces between them, and branches that barely move. A coolness gathers near the lake. It touches the stones first, then the grass, then the edge of the folded blanket near the chair. The chair remains empty. The blanket remains folded. The tent remains ready. The water comes and goes at the shore. It touches the stones and leaves them, and comes back again without hurry. The fire gives one small red pulse, then dims. The ash holds the last shape of the wood. There is no need to disturb it, no need to brighten it, no need to ask more from the night. The lake is sleeping in its own way. The camp is sleeping in its own way. The trees are standing over both. A bird does not call yet. The insects are softer now. The spaces between sounds have grown longer. Everything seems to be waiting, but not for anything urgent. The sky is still dark. The shore is still dark. The water is still dark. Only the faintest gray rests somewhere beyond the trees. Not enough to begin the day. Only enough to soften the edge of night. The tent remains the quiet center now. Not the fire, not the table, not the canoe, only the small shelter beneath the pines. The lake keeps its slow return. The stars keep their pale distance. The camp keeps its simple shape. Nothing is unfinished. Nothing has to be remembered. Nothing has to be carried forward. The night can remain a little longer. The lake can remain dark. The camp can remain still. All the objects rest where they were placed. The mug, the lantern, the paddle, the blanket, the chair, the stones. The scene has no need to resolve. It only continues softly beside the sleeping lake, under the fading stars, with the last warmth of the fire held low in the ash. The camp is quiet now, and the lake is quiet now, and the trees hold the last part of the night without effort. The fire has become a soft place in the stones, mostly ash, a little red, a little warmth, and then less. The tent waits under the pines with darkness on its fabric, and rest inside, and nothing more required from the night. The lake continues its slow sound. Water to shore, shore to water. The same small return, again and again. Above it, the stars remain gentle. Some are still clear. Some are fading. All of them are far away and calm. The Milky Way lies softly across the sky, less bright now, but still remembered by the water. and still held in the open dark. The lantern is almost out. The mug is still. The chair is still. The canoe rests above the shore. Everything has settled into its place. Nothing needs moving. Nothing needs explaining. The night has made a room around the camp. A room of trees and water and stones and low firelight and the quiet sounds of the dark. There is no next thing here. Only the lake and the shore and the soft remains of the fire. The air is cool. The ground is still. The tent is close. The blanket is waiting. A final ripple touches the stones. A final ember glows beneath the ash. A final star reflects on the water, then softens. The camp remains beside the sleeping lake, with the trees behind it, and the sky above it, and the night gathered gently around everything. Nothing is required. Nothing is urgent. Nothing has to be held. Only firelight fading, stars resting, water returning, and the lake sleeping quietly under the last dark of the sky.